All right, welcome back. Episode 9 of the Vegan Bikini Prep Diaries podcast. We are your tired but positive host. We are still going to try to bring it and show up for you guys today. We have a Q&A. We have some listener questions, and we are going to do some prep updates. But first off, how are you doing, Belinda?
I'm good. A little tired, a little cranky, but I'm okay. I'm staying happy and positive because that's what the people need from us right now. So we're going to do it. But you and I are both getting very close to competing, me competing again and you starting your season off. So yeah, we're in the thick of it, guys. We really are. But we're okay. And we got this. So I guess we could start with your prep updates. So we're filming this on Tuesday, June 10th. Does that mean you're a month out?
I'm 5 weeks out. Yeah.
5 weeks out. Okay.
So it's getting real. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. You're getting real close now.
It's really close. Yeah. I mean, I have a backup if I can't get ready in 5 weeks, but I mean, like we talked about before we hit record, I'm like you, I'm kind of ready to get it done. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this, but yeah, so I'm 5 weeks out. Macros are the same. I'm still dropping. So I hit 151 and I'm pretty confident I'll probably hit 150 in the next day or so. I just am changing so rapidly. Like it's just visually like falling off me. So I feel like I could probably keep going on these macros and the 1.5 hours of cardio for maybe another week. I'd love if I could just keep doing this and keep losing weight, but I'm sure I'll have to crank it up a little bit at some point. But right now it's working. The weight's still coming off. And yeah, I mean, my hunger is manageable, not too bad. Like you, I do a lot of hot drinks, a lot of hot teas. So when I'm done for the night, I have a lemon ginger tea. I have my sleepy time tea. That really helps. It's really just been my energy. My energy really starts to dip the second half of the day. And I've been really grumpy. Like, I'll just be honest. I've been very grumpy.
I like to call them the prep crankies.
Yes. Like the littlest thing. I get so irritated. So easily irritated. Yes. But yeah, it's just part of it.
You've got me to vent with because we're in the same boat and just try and keep it in check for the real world. Because it's our choice to do this and the general population should not have to suffer because of our decision to do a contest prep, right? So that's something that every year you compete, you get more experienced with. And I'd say, you know, even though you and I weren't super close your first prep, you're handling this prep a lot better than your first one, right? The first one is always the hardest because you don't know what's happening to you and you're more experienced now. So you like know what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah. You know, my first prep, I feel like I just constantly was in a state of like, am I going to be ready? Like, I don't feel like I'm moving fast enough. Like, am I supposed to look like this? Like, what am I? Yeah. I feel like I was just constantly anxious about the whole process. If I was doing it right, you know, whereas now I will still get in my head here and there. I feel like, you know, that's inevitable.
Which is normal, Brooke. Like,
yeah,
we're all our own worst critics. And you also haven't competed in a while, and you haven't been backstage, tanned up, pumped, peaked in a few years. You'll see when you're finally stage ready and you're back there, you're going to do just fine. It's just that leading up to it that it's like hard to gauge if you're ready or not. But that's why you have a coach, and that's why you've got prep friends who can, you know, keep you on the straight and narrow. And another thing that you learn with experience is that it's just best to have a series of shows picked out. That way when you're ready, you can jump into one.
Yes. And I do have that now. Whereas like my first two shows, I was dead set on doing this
Right.
specific show. Like
Right.
everything was riding on it. You know, the second show I did with my best friend at the time. So I was like, well, shit, if I pull out of this show, she's going to have to pull out. So it was a lot of pressure. And now it's like, I'll be ready when I'm ready. I have one.
Mhm.
And luckily it's summer. So we have tons of options. And I'm in
Mhm.
not like a bodybuilding mecca, but there's a show within a 2 to 3 hour drive, like every weekend. So I
Mhm.
have, 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out planned. So, whenever I feel like I'm lean enough, I can get on stage, which is
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
So what are some but I know the scale is coming down, but what are some like funny lean things that have happened to you over the past week? And for anybody that's never been in a contest prep before, what I mean by that is the process of contest prep is losing body fat in a strategic way in order to keep muscle tissue. It's very different than just a simple cut. It's very different than just a simple weight loss plan. It's a whole strategy behind it. And part of that is that the scale might not necessarily change, and measurements might not necessarily change, but the body is losing body fat anyway. And there's like funny things that happen. Like, so for me, in my final like 2-ish weeks before I compete, my watch strap goes down to the second loop.
Yeah.
All this
Mine is,
old, yeah, my watch strap, it gets real tiny there at the end. So there's like little things that happen. So anything, now you're 5-ish weeks out, has anything changed in the past week that's not
yeah.
scale related?
my
Like what?
my
Start
rings are
getting big.
gonna fall off me. Like I had to put them on
Yeah.
my middle fingers, and they've been there for a while, but now they're about to fall off my middle
Oh, so
fingers.
funny.
And
Yeah.
I'm finally really getting vascular when I work out.
Yep, I noticed that on you this week. You sent me a few photos. I was like, "Oh, her veins are coming out."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And today they were popping like crazy. And really like my abs like are really starting to shred up. And even Steve, like, he was like, your abs are really looking good. Like you look awesome. And before it
Listen,
was like I kind of have to like flex in the right lighting to have abs, and now they're just there. And then I've definitely noticed some new lines in my legs. So my legs are finally leaning down.
it's very exciting. Listen, like contest prep is it's 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 a long road. It requires a lot of sacrifice, but if you love it like you and I do, it's all kind of worth it. These things are really fun and they're not forever, but it's really cool to enjoy them temporarily. Sorry, my dog keeps coming in and out of the room. So for me, something that's happened in the past week, which is interesting because I actually sort of had like an off week. It's become painful to sit. So I'm really leaning out around my glute area. And when I sit on any hard surface, I'm in pain. And it wasn't, not pain, but I'm uncomfortable. And it wasn't like that like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, doing the thing for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it's all gotta go. So
Yeah, definitely. Have you changed any of your food the past week, like eating anything differently or not really?
I did, yeah. So, have you had those I think it's palmini noodles. They're made
Yes,
out of artichoke
yes,
hearts.
yes.
So
Do
yeah,
you like them? I've never tried them. What do you think?
if you cook them really well in a skillet, they're good. If you microwave them, they are like not very good. But
Okay, okay.
I am subbing my evening carb. I just took that out completely, and I've just replaced it with those noodles, and I just put garlic salt on it,
Mhm.
black pepper, Italian seasoning, and I just put my soy-free tofu on top with some tomatoes, and it's a really, really solid meal.
Okay, good for you. I might have to try those. I used to, before I was even a bodybuilder, I would do the shirataki noodles sometimes, but then all of a sudden, I stopped being able to digest them all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And my body was like over it. I guess I could try those again. Not that I want to right now, because right now, like, all my food is working for me just fine. So I'm not really going to make any adjustments. But all right. So you got 5 weeks. We're doing the thing. June is your month, man. Like, this is going to be your month that you make the biggest changes, and it's going to be really exciting to see how you transform over the month. So
yeah, I'm excited. It's got me motivated.
Yeah, I'm excited for you for sure. So for me, I have some updates. I was possibly thinking about competing in 2-ish weeks at Junior Nats. I changed my mind for a few reasons. I took more of last week off than I intended to. I was fighting a cold half of the week, or allergies or something, so I wasn't like quite myself. And then I traveled, and I went off plan for a day and a half. Not ideal, but you know, what are you going to do? I've been in prep since January. I've competed every single month since April. So, you know,
It's okay.
I did what I did what I did. I don't feel guilty about it. I just kind of wish I didn't, but it's okay. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't feel guilty, and I don't feel like it set me back. I just sort of am like, maybe it wasn't worth it, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm doing the thing. Like I said, I'm leaning out anyway, and it's all okay. So I changed my mind for that show, not only because of that, but also because since I did have to do that work trip last minute, I didn't think it was fair to have Yemi be dog dad alone for several weekends in a row. I just, you know, it's a lot of work, and I'd rather just have more time to lean down, because that was my feedback, was to come in leaner and tighter. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just nailing it every single day now. I still have a bit of the cold still, by the way. I'm still a little stuffy, but it's almost gone. I don't know if it was allergies. I can't quite tell what it was. But anyways, so now I'm 4-ish weeks out. Tomorrow will be 3.5 weeks out. I've got 24 days. So I'm just nailing it every day the best I can. And to be honest with you, if a week or so out, whenever, like before the registration ends, if I'm not leaner and tighter, you know, if I don't have the vision in my, you know, if I don't look the way I want to look, I'm also okay to not do the show and even just wait to Masters Nationals, which is 2 weeks after that. So I am shooting for Universe at the end of the month, which is July 4th weekend. But if I'm not ready in time, that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, we can only do our best, and the body's going to do what it's going to do. Right. So I'm doing the thing, though. I'm on cardio twice a day, morning and night. My food is quite low. I told you this already, but I think I'm going to start carb cycling, probably starting next week or over the weekend. I'll start that. 2 days low, 1 day mod. Right now, I'm keeping my carbs all more or less the same. I do eat a few more carbs on my leg training days, just like 20 grams more, not much. But I think I'm going to have to start doing the extreme carb cycling of no carbs except vegetables. 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. But we'll see. I'm going to check in Friday and see how it goes. And but overall, I feel pretty okay. Honestly, I'm just tired. I'm fatigued. Like, my legs are tired. Like, I can tell I'm working really hard. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. My
I
legs are the same.
Feel like I want to sit down all the time. I'm a little cranky, but I'm not too bad. I think having that extra food over the weekend helped that. So it's been pretty good this week so far. I am starting to get a little moody, though. Like, a little bit in my feels, and kind of like, what is the point of all of this moment? But it's okay. This is very normal at the end. And I know it's temporary. And I know, that all of this is going to be over with at some point this summer. We'll see when. And just kind of coming more to the realization that I knew this already, but really realizing now that the sport is really, really hard, and doing well and placing well is when the stars align perfectly for you that day. And you can prep as well as you can prep, but at the end of the day, it's who shows up, how everybody compares against each other, and the mood of the subjective judging of the day. And so I can't beat myself up for the things I can and can't, the things I can't control. And I'm just going to keep doing my best and, see how it goes.
Yeah.
I haven't stepped on the scale yet, because I'm afraid. I know it's silly, but it's the reality of it. I'm just being completely honest, because I'm a little nervous to see the number, because I have in my head that I think I want to be 115 before my next show, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Like, I just don't really know. I might lean down without the scale not really changing. Like, I don't really know. So I'm not going to step on the scale quite yet. I'm just going to keep doing the work and see what I'm working with at the end of the week after I've had the whole week in me. And then the things that I'm changing, and I mentioned this on the last episode, was my weak points are really the weekend, where I don't move as much as I do Monday through Friday. That is changing now. So this weekend coming up, the weekend after that, the weekend after that, I've set up some activities for myself to keep me booked and busy. So I'll be go, 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 go. So I'll keep like my output high. Because those weekends were really like affecting my step count average and my burn cal average. Listen, it's okay to rest on the weekend. I'm just talking about contest prep. I'm not talking about regular life. I'm talking about like a very specific goal that I have. So, I'm ready to just hit the nail on the head for the rest of the month and see what happens. But if I'm not ready for some reason by the end of the month, there's a very important show for me 2 weeks after that. So
more time is only going to help. I mean, the thing is,
right.
It sucks that you have to hang in there for longer and keep doing all this crazy shit for longer. But at the same time, I mean, truly getting your conditioning nailed is just time. Repeating the same things over and over again. So regardless of what happens in 3.5 weeks, you have the time.
Definitely. Okay. So we have some Q&A. Should we get to it?
Yes, let's do it.
So we pulled these from questions. Brooke put up a story box the other day on her stories, and these are from her followers. So we have a few of them here. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's see. What about how to determine if you're bikini or fit model? What about that one?
Okay, sure. So what this question means is that in the NPC, which is the amateur league of the IFBB, which is the premier, most elite bodybuilding organization that exists. In the NPC, they have different categories for females, and they have a new one called Fit Model, which is the one I'm competing in right now. I used to be bikini. So the biggest difference, they're quite similar in the sense that they're both feminine hourglass shapes. The difference between them is the level of the amount of muscular development, specifically, I would say, in the glutes and maybe hamstrings and I guess shoulders. Bikini has more muscle than Fit Model. However, the criteria for Fit Model is very new, and the physiques they're awarding are all across the board. So there are some very muscular Fit Model physiques that are winning. So the posing is different, but they're very similar. In my opinion, how you know the difference between if you're one or the other I would say, first of all, if you're a natural athlete and you do not take any performance enhancing drugs of any kind, you should start in Fit Model, because the Fit Model physique is a more natural looking physique. So I would suggest you start there. Then see what happens. Listen to the judges. If they think you should be bikini, all you have to do is change up your posing a bit, buy a more expensive bikini, and then do bikini. They're really not all that different. It really just depends on your muscularity. And I would say also lifestyle. They are saying that Fit Model doesn't have to be as lean as bikini, but Brooke and I had a whole conversation before we hit record that they're requiring me to be just as lean as I was for bikini. So I don't really think it's all that different. They're rewarding very lean physiques in Fit Model. So just think it's level of muscularity and just sort of structure. For example, like, even though I'm a muscly chick, I'm small. Like, I'm not a big person. And so when I go against bikini girls that are my height, a lot of them have a lot more muscle than me. So even though I look like I have a lot of muscle in a comparison with top level NPC bikini, I'm a lot smaller than them, specifically in the glutes, for sure. Glutes and leg development. I noticed that at my show last year where I didn't place that well. I looked great on my own, but the girls in my height class that placed above me, their glutes were all like a few inches bigger than mine. Like, it was very obvious that I was on the smaller side. So
yeah, bikini is overall going to be much more muscular, like striations, cuts, like you're going to see, like caps, delts, all the lines. I mean, bikini girls are jacked. If you are new to competing and rather new to lifting, if you've been lifting for a few years, you're probably Fit Model.
You're probably Fit Model.
Yeah.
Right.
A bikini physique at this point, NPC, would probably take someone, I would say, almost 8 to 10 years to really develop. So I would say if you're a newbie, you're probably Fit Model. And then, like Belinda said, see how you do. Worst case scenario, you're actually bikini, and then you just do bikini next time.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And then, just so listeners have an idea, I've been lifting for 10 years now, consistently for 6. By consistent, I mean like really on my shit for 6 years, and I'm Fit Model. It's also more my genetic structure. Like, it fits more for me at this time. I thought I might be too muscular for it, but the judges said I wasn't. So that's that. Okay. So that's that question. Next. We've got.
Do you think judges are just as fair to vegan competitors? I mean, when you're on stage, nobody's going to know that you're vegan.
Correct. You're not wearing like a big vegan flag on you when you're competing. So I agree with Brooke. Like, they're not going to know you're vegan. When you go up there, you're on the comparison line with all the other bodies. Are there instances where judges can be well researched on who's competing and maybe have a bias against it? It's possible, but it's probably not going to happen. Especially when you start to go to more competitive shows. There might be like 20 girls in your group. They're not going to really know who's who. So even if they did look up your Instagram before, they're really not going to remember who's who. Also, because when you're on stage in your bikini, in a stage tan, stage lean on show day, you look very different than you do on social media. So they might like not even recognize you, honestly. So they're not going to know you're vegan when you're up there. And then even if they happen to know you're vegan, they're probably not even going to remember it when you're there. Is there bias in the industry, in the fitness industry against vegans? I would say yes. I think a lot of fitness people, bodybuilding people are very anti-veganism for whatever reason, but it is what it is. Just like how probably you have family members that don't love that you're vegan. It's the same thing, you know? You just got to keep doing you and not worry about it.
Yeah,
so
it's not going to affect your placing. Maybe your networking, but
maybe your networking
and your friends.
Exactly.
But
exactly, I agree.
Okay. Are there age categories, or are the 50-year-olds with the 20-year-olds? That's a good question. In NPC, there are some age categories, what we call masters. 35 plus. Some shows you'll have 45 plus. Sometimes you'll have 50 plus. Just depends. And there actually is a teen collegiate division as well for people who are under 18. They technically cannot compete with the adults. But then you have your open, which is everybody. And everybody does compete against everybody. And the best person wins.
Yep. No matter the age. Like my first show of my season this year, I won my open class, which means like I won against people of all ages. So that was really cool. So yes, you could compete in open, which is all of the ages, but you could also compete in your specific age group. And they usually go with 5 to 10 years, starting at age 35 and up. And like Brooke said, those are the masters categories. Okay. Can you use THC as a competitor?
Only in NPC and IFBB. The natural federations do not allow marijuana at all. Because technically, there's reasons they consider it performance enhancing. One, they say that you could pass a lie detector test if you're under the influence. So the idea is like you can't go in and do your lie detector test and claim you're natural if you're not really natural. And of course, I mean, I don't know, some people think it's a sleep aid and, a stress aid, if you will.
I can see that.
But it is not allowed in natural federations, which is terrible. So I'm so glad I'm in NPC.
So an NPC is not a drug tested league. There are natural shows in NPC, but that's a whole conversation for another day. But the bottom line is NPC is not a natural organization. So you could consume THC no problem in NPC. I will say as a sidebar though, be very mindful of consuming THC when you're in contest prep because of the munchies, and not so conducive with the contest prep. So even if you can use THC, be mindful. Like me personally, I can't touch it when I'm like 2 months out. I just can't. I can't control the hunger urges, unfortunately, which is a shame because it's totally legal here in Chicago, but anyways.
Yeah, it really helps me with my mood and sleep. I can luckily fight the munchies, but yeah, I don't know how I could get through prep without it, to be honest. So
yeah, my last prep, I kept it in gummies almost through the end, but I really had to fight the munchies. Like it was like I would almost have to sit on my hands and not allow myself to eat, and it was not really fun. So this time I just kind of cut it out completely, just so I don't have to deal with it. But anyways, okay. So let's do the one about gender and bodybuilding. So the question is, what are your thoughts on gender and bodybuilding with all of the bodybuilding categories? Could it be a positive venue to introduce a trans category to the sports world? So there actually is a transgender specific bodybuilding and powerlifting league, which was created about 10 years ago. And believe, doing my research that I did before this podcast, they have a few competitions every year. So there actually does exist a league for this gender fluid situation. And so it exists already. So that's that. But when it comes to, let's say, for example, the NPC or the IFBB introducing this, at the end of the day, it's a for-profit sport, and the promoter of the show has to pay a sanction fee for every category that they have at the show. So I just think at this exact moment in time, I don't think there's enough of a population that would warrant the expense for a promoter to include this. So for that reason, also, I don't see it happening right now, but there is a league that exists for this exact purpose. So if you are gender fluid or trans, identify in any sort of way like that, there is a spot for you in the bodybuilding world, which is really cool and exciting. So I'm going to put that link for that when I edit. So yeah, that's that.
Awesome. Was that our last one?
I think so. that was our last one. Since we have a bit more time, we could do the one about the cut. Do you want to do that one?
Yes. Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay. We get this question a lot. Both whenever we ask like Q&As on our stories in general, and then people also message us this a lot. Not competition related, but if you're a regular gym person, how do you know when to do a cut? I'm struggling with wanting to gain more muscle, but I also want to get fat off me first. Do you want to answer? Should I answer?
Yeah, my quick little 2 cents there. I'm a big believer in always getting body fat off first. I have calls with people every week who hire some bodybuilding bro trainer, and this person makes them gain like 40 pounds and, you know, wants them to put on all this muscle first. And then they have an even harder job getting to their goal. And then not only that, but the more weight you have to lose, the more you risk losing muscle. So I always think, get all your body fat off first. If you have a good relationship with food and you're in a good place to start a cut, you know, you're not in a high stress environment, whatever, just get all your body fat off first, then reverse diet and focus on building muscle. I get the best results with my clients that way. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, so I agree with you. When I was coaching, I also, since most people would come to me as a coach and they come to you as a coach for the same reason, they want to improve their physique and the way they look, that does usually start with having to get some body fat off. So usually with a beginner, learning about macros in sports nutrition, lifting weights, introducing a bit of cardio, more steps, usually the body fat will come off easily-ish within the first few months of that sort of process. And then I like to say you have to really earn a cut. So I wouldn't necessarily call that beginner scenario a cut, more so just like a revamping of lifestyle habits, and the body fat will usually come down as a result. But if you've been lifting for a while, let's say like a solid year, I would feel, and you've been eating pretty optimally, like you do track your protein and you're conscious of how many calories you consume on average, I would say you've earned a cut. And if you feel like you're not very confident or you want to reveal some of the muscle you've built and look leaner, you could absolutely do a cut. There's a term called mini cut, which is anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8, maybe even 10 weeks, 1 to 2 months of a mini cut. And you could even just do a mini cut. It doesn't have to be anything that drastic. You could start with a 200 or 300 calorie deficit, work your way up to a 500 calorie deficit by the end to see what you're working with, and then reverse out of that gracefully when that's done. So to answer this person's question, you could do a cut whenever you want. You just shouldn't overdo it, because the more you diet, the more it affects your metabolism and your physique overall as time goes on. Honestly, one of the best things you could do is not cut for a substantial amount of time. That way your metabolism and your whole physique have a chance to like reach a solid homeostasis that's sustainable for you. Because every time you cut, you're digging down into that, and over time it gets harder and harder to lose body fat the more that you do a cut. So hopefully that answers this person's question. You could cut whenever you want, but just make sure you're in the right lifestyle for it, right mindset for it. Don't be in the middle of a move. Don't be in the middle of a job change. Don't be in a high stress environment when everything in your life is pretty copacetic, and you think that you could focus on, controlling your calories and doing a bit more cardio for 1 or 2 months. Go for it. Don't try and do it in the middle of a stressful time, because it's not going to work out.
Yeah, you'll just end up getting stressed out and eat. That's like the most common denominator when people fall off their diet is stress, So,
that's right.
Yeah.
And I like to say that the goal should always be, and this is not about contest prep right now, what I'm about to say. This is like lifestyle, gym girl, fit chick, talking to her, not contest prep bodybuilder. The goal should always be to eat as much as possible, doing as little excess cardio as possible to maintain and look the way you want to look. And so, if you're not happy with like the way you're looking and you want to, lean down a little bit, go for it. But if you're pretty happy with how things are going, stay that way. Stay that way, and only do a cut when you need to. There's no doubt in my own physique journey that I've actually chopped myself backwards a few times due to my excessive cutting for bodybuilding stage. I'm aware of that. I know that. It's part of my sport. I'm not going to compete forever. When I don't compete anymore, I'll probably only do a mini cut once a year before summer, and that will be it. But bodybuilding competitive bodybuilding is a whole different animal. So hopefully that answers that person's question. And the last thing I'll add to that is also the reason you don't want to do too many cuts too is because your body gets used to whatever you throw at it. So your body will get used to the lower food. Your body will get used to the higher cardio, and you don't want that. Like, that's where I unfortunately am at right now, because I've been competing for a few months now, and my body is used to very high cardio and very low food. And it's becoming very challenging to create a stimulus. That's how I know that my season is coming to a close, probably. But bodybuilding is not meant to last all year. It's only supposed to be in short windows. So this is all normal. I'm not saying there's anything, wrong with what I'm doing. Just my body's gotten used to this, and it's its new homeostasis, which is not ideal. So I'm very much looking forward to being done, so I can reverse out of this well and go back to a nice, easier, more sustainable fit chick lifestyle. Contest prep is very extreme. So hopefully that answers that person's question.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks guys so much for the questions. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
We will post on our stories what we think our next episode will be when we decide. So we'll let you guys know. But right now, Brooke and I are both about a month or so out from competing, and our brain power is very limited, and we are just doing the best that we can right now. So we're doing our best, guys. We're doing our best.
With us. Go easy on us.
Yes, go easy on us. All right. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.